Constructing your life is about much more than just building a bank account. Each week, join real estate entrepreneur and mindset coach Austin Linney as he interviews guests who are constructing their dream lives and impacting the world around them on a daily basis. If you're an entrepreneur or wanting to start a business, or you just want to hear motivating stories of how others have overcome the odds, you are in the right place. And now for your host, Austin Linney.
Guys, welcome back to Construct Your Life. This is Austin Linney here, and I'm going to introduce him a different way this time because he's a man of many talents. We have Mr. Bill in the house. I had him on a previous podcast. He's an amazing builder in Marco Island and everything. But Bill, you're an agent too? What, you didn't have enough going on? What's going on?
Yeah, I'm a real estate broker as well, man. Yeah, so I do that, and then I kind of do a home watch business on the side. People are like, what's home watch? Very seasonal area over here. So I had some people ask, hey, do you know anybody that will look after our house while we're out of town? And I was like, yeah, I can do it. And they're like, oh, okay, I didn't know you did that. I go, I do now. So I started a business doing that as well. So it all kind of meshes together. Yeah, it's crazy.
So what do? Do you walk up in front of the home and you just stare at it for a little while?
Yeah, I mean, that would be great if it was that easy, but no, you got to walk through them, you check everything, make sure everything's operating. I mean, I've had some where I've walked in, ACs weren't working right or something like that. I just call my AC guy, get them there right away. I have the contacts just being in construction so I can get stuff done quick for them.
I guess that's what I want to focus on because, you seem like a guy, you've already got the reputation as a great builder, but you're seeing yourself and you're saying, look, if not somebody else, I think you look at things the same way I do. Like my biggest issue with starting businesses, I just can't find the service that's up to my level or they can't keep up with me. And so I'm like, well, I'm just going to create it myself. Is that kind of the same way that you look at it?
Yeah. I mean, because it's hard to recommend somebody and give a recommendation if they're not going to live up to your expectation, just like you said. Mm-hmm. So, and I get asked all the time for recommendations on, whether it's a handyman service or do you know a good pool guy, which my brother-in-law's pool guy, he's a great pool guy, but it's just, do you have a lawn company you work with? And over the years, I've kind of established those relationships into realizing our leading people to the right people. But now I'm realizing more and more that, maybe I should start a business where I combine all those relationships into one and do like an estate management company or something based off of what we're doing, because we're doing high-end homes. A lot of these people want their homes looked after and don't have to worry about anything. So I'm starting to kind of lean more towards that way because there's a lot of other big builders in our area, like big builders that, are doing like 40,000 square foot houses, which is where the level I'm trying to work our way up to. But in their estate management full on, like, get these people their groceries, have everything opened up when they come in, walk their dog if they need it, or, just full on luxury experience too. So that's kind of the next initial kind of step into, all right, how do I set all that up? Have the lawn guy, the pool guy, the repairman, everything all in one, all under one umbrella, basically.
Yeah, and it's the same thing that we're seeing in the luxury market and the Airbnbs is that nobody's figured it out. Maybe there are, but I haven't seen it at scale. But you're thinking to yourself, right? Let's just say you and 9 of your friends, right? You're getting married soon, and I've got $1 million property we're closing on in the Smokies.
Congrats on your engagement, by the way.
Thank you very much. We've been sick every day since the engagement, so I don't know how, but we're saying it's a good omen. So, but let's say it's you and 9 of your friends, and you're coming to my huge house in the Smokies, and you're coming from all over the country. If I said, Bill, what type of whiskey do you like? What type of vodka do you like? What kind of food would you like? And I had that for you already. Like that seems like the most next logical business move in general. Like, and it's already in meal service deliveries and grocery deliveries. But, I think people, especially at like the younger age, is they're seeing how much money they can make per hour. Mm-hmm. And so anytime they're not working, like they're just like, screw this, I don't want to do this. Right. And I have my own thoughts about technology, but ultimately you have to live somewhere in between. I think as much as we'll have technology always, um, but ultimately it comes down to the how you treat your people. And I know that's something that you pride yourself in. And I think it's an easy next step.
Yeah, like you were saying too, though, if they had that actual luxury, because I actually thought about that in doing a rental company. I was actually starting to start one, and then I kind of pumped the brakes. I'm like, play the cards you've been dealt. Stop getting way ahead of your hand, because running rentals and all that's a whole nother ball game. I don't want to be called at 4 a.m. because they can't open a sliding glass door. So, I got enough on my plate. So I stopped
No
that at that.
comment. No
Yeah,
comment.
yeah. So I get it. I feel for you. And but I was thinking too, because if you over deliver on the experience, no matter what you do in business in general, but if you're doing like Airbnbs and stuff and you go get them their favorite bottle of vodka or whiskey or have everything set up, not a lot of people are going to that extent. They're not
Mm-hmm.
over delivering on that experience, that rental experience, that you got to give them. We have a JW Marriott on Marco Island, where we
Mm-hmm.
build primarily all of our houses. They're getting on average in season probably 1,200 to 1,400 a night at that hotel. But the
Shoo.
experience they deliver keeps people going into that hotel, because if you give that JW experience into a house and you make $1,200 a night in an Airbnb, you're making pretty damn good money, So
Mm-hmm.
get them, call these people ahead, give them, over deliver that experience, make sure everything obviously is clean and ready to go, have that favorite bottle of whatever they want there, and their food, some food in the fridge. But not a lot of people want to take the time to do that. And I think if you did it too, it'd be a leg up. I'm always personally thinking how we can have a leg up as a builder. So that's why with the home watch thing and stuff like that is, okay, what can we do that my competition's not doing, and do it even better if they were doing it? That's my thought process all the time. I'm trying to figure it out. Like doing all the video I do, my competition isn't doing any video.
Yeah.
None of them are,
Yeah.
still
Yeah.
still to this day, which is shocking. And I've even looked at some of these big builders, and now I want to get a media team going and stuff like that, and try to even more outproduce and get ahead of the game on this as well. And it's just, if you have a leg up, you actually see the future of how you can get a step ahead of your competition, you're going to blow them out of the water. It's going to take time, but eventually, like my vision of being one of the largest builders in the state, luxury builders, will come true. It's just going to take time, and I got to keep doing these things that my competition isn't.
Yeah, Alex Hormozy, who I listen to all the time, he said, if you really want to get ahead in business, he goes, look at your competitors,
Mm-hmm.
find out what they won't do, and do that, and you'll
Oh
be fine.
yeah, I go on their social media. I look at it. I mean, they're still posting pictures of houses that they built and stuff like that. I'm doing full on walkthroughs, explaining so people can hear what we're doing, and talking about the build process. But I'm also answering the questions. Like, I just did a piling video on what pilings are. People love that because they don't know why we do it. I get asked that. I'm going to do one on a metal roof versus a tile roof, because I get asked that question. I might even do one just on a metal roof alone and doesn't make noise. I might stand out in the rain and let people listen and just prove that it doesn't make
Yeah.
noise while you're standing in the house, because I get asked that question all the time. So make notes of the questions you get asked and do a video of it. That's a whole nother topic, which I'm starting to
Oh,
do.
well, it's very interesting, right? The number one thing that I see in my clients that I coach and consult is you might have a brand as a company, but if
Mm-hmm.
you as the owner are not out front, like, yeah,
Yeah.
you're leaving a lot of business behind. I'm working with a couple right now that have great businesses, but I'm like, if you went out in front and they resonated with your story
Yeah.
and it was about you instead of the company, I was like, you would 10x your sales. And they're like, I don't see it. And I'm like, dude, people do business with people that they know, not a brand, not a logo. Gary V's Gary V. Yeah, he has VaynerMedia, but they know him because Gary V. Grant
Yeah.
Cardone, same
Well,
thing.
look what you just said there is Gary V's Gary V. Do I go and watch VaynerMedia's Instagram? No, I don't even know if they have one. They probably do. I wouldn't have a clue because I just care about Gary V.
Mm-hmm.
Andy Frisella, for example. Do I have First Form's Instagram? I don't think I do, but I buy First Form products religiously
Mm-hmm.
because of Andy Frisella, his brand. I listen to his podcast and so on. Ed Milet saying,
You're a perfect example. I literally know zero people in the luxury, maybe like three in a luxury building platform. We're getting into building out in the Smokies in the near future. But I would single-handedly, when I'm in a place to do it, would have you build my house because I know who you are, I know what you stand for, and I see you around.
Yeah, that's a problem. And I've even researched just to I've gone on Instagram just to try and get ideas of stuff. Like I was recently trying to research reels with builders and stuff. And there's literally not one person that does real personal reels on their construction projects. It's construction companies, and their reels are just shots of their houses and stuff like that. But there's no personal interaction of the actual. I mean, maybe the builder will do one interview talking about himself or something like that, but there's nothing like I'm doing, which is crazy to me. I'm sure there's some out there, but all I've really seen is just the companies. They have their company profile, that's it, and they post to that. I'm horrible with it. I need to be better at it. I gave my fiance access to it so she can post to it to our company profile, because I'm always posting to mine. And I've figured that out, exactly what you said, though. People are going to buy you and not going to buy the overall company. And I don't know how many times recently where people have been like, oh yeah, I saw your video on this. Oh yeah, well, your videos are great. Oh yeah, I listened to your podcast on this. It's just that constant getting in front of them too, of that's what makes the difference, because they see you, and it's going to eliminate the people that don't like you. They're not going to talk to you. I mean, because they're going to see me in a video, they don't like me, they don't click with my personality. That's great. Don't work with me, because I don't want to work with you. Because it's probably not going to be a good experience, because I got to be with you for 3 years, and then after that too, because I want to maintain that relationship with you. But if we're building your house and it takes a 2-year process with planning and all that, and finally getting the thing built, and then we have a warranty period too, it's going to be miserable if we don't have the same our personalities don't click and we butt heads. So video, and I've said this before on podcasts, is that it's so important because people can see you, and if they're going to click with you, they're going to click with you. So
it's the weirdest thing ever, because I just brought on a creative director last month after like 300 plus episodes, 400 plus between the two podcasts, coming up on 2 years in April.
Congrats.
The downloads are, thanks. Yeah, it's like that one decision to like start a podcast changed my entire fucking life.
Yeah.
Because I think that we look at the numbers and we go, oh, like, yeah, it doesn't look like it's a lot, but then you're like at an event and people are like, oh, like I listened to that or I heard that. Like, dude, no bullshit. I was in Costa Rica. Still in Costa Rica, but I was in Costa Rica and I was walking, and this buddy, I never met this guy before, but he's friends with my coach. We don't know each other. And he was like, oh yeah, I've been listening to your podcast for like a year. I'm like, what? Like, I don't even know. It's like, you don't even know. And now we're creeping up on this milestone for downloads all of a sudden, and it's like, but like I look at it and I go, what happened to me was I was at my only conference I've ever been to, my only one I've ever been to. It was best conference ever, multifamily in Breckenridge before COVID. And I was at the conference and there was, hundreds of people there. And I noticed that everybody that they were talking to had a podcast. Yeah. And I was like, I think I need to start a podcast. And then we like bounced around the name right there. And then I went home like the next day and started recording it. And it was like that one decision has like, superseded everything and kind of like got you off the ground, because it's, I tell every business, if you don't have a podcast or you're not having a podcast, even if like, you're super niche down and like 10 people are listening, but like those 10 people could be all the audience that you need.
It's true. I mean, it takes time to build it up and so on too, but it's just identical to what you said is with you get discouraged here and there. You see your numbers and you're like, is this really working, this and that? And it only takes that one person. And I don't know how many people I'm building with right now that have said they listen to my podcast, and that's the thing. They're like, oh yeah, we heard your podcast on this. I'm like, oh, you listen to it? You just don't know. You don't know what's going to come out of it until you do it. And yeah, it's a lot of work. It is. I've had times too, I've said it in my podcast where I'm like, I don't even know if I want to keep doing this because I'm so busy, and it's a lot of work, a lot of time out of your day. and the editing and so on. I self-edit mine. I do all my own content, which I should sub it out to somebody. But I'm so picky with how I do my stuff. But I need to eventually, I'm going to get to the point where I'm just going to have somebody do it for me. I got to, but that's a whole nother story. But if you're not doing some kind of content or some kind of marketing in general, that shows who you are, whether it's voice or it's video, it's just, you're going to be left in the dust, because it's getting more and more important. More and more people are watching videos. More and more people are actually watching content or listening to content to select who they want to work with. Yes, reviews are important and that kind of thing too, and referrals and all that will always be important, but they're going to video now because they're seeing who you are or listening to who you are, and then they're picking you because of that and your knowledge and how much all my stuff's helping people. That's all it is. I don't advertise. I don't do anything like that. I just do it to help people. I'm passionate about this business. There's so many people that have been screwed in the construction industry and in real estate as well. On my podcast has realtors on it that are doing great too, and they just do great things too, and that's what my show is all about. But it's all about helping people, plain and simple.
And you set me up there because I haven't talked to you about this, but I have a sneaking suspicion why you did decide to become a broker was because there's so many shitty real estate agents out there, and you probably
deal with them, man. Yeah, I deal with them all the time, and especially in our market, there's just tens of thousands now that everybody moves to Florida and they get a real estate license, and more than half of them shouldn't be licensed. And I deal with a lot of them. I deal with a lot of bad. I deal with a lot of the good ones too, but unfortunately, a lot of the bad outnumbers the good. It's all about the money, the quick transaction, get rid of the customer. And I got a lot of customers that respect me on the real estate side because I say no. You know, I had a guy looking at it was a $2.7 million house. I told him absolutely not. And that's a heck of a commission for me. We ended up getting him something else, but he was shocked. He goes, "Why?" I go, "That house was just that house just sold 4 months ago for $700,000 less." I go, "They're playing the inflation in the market." I go, "Somebody's going to be left high and dry with that house, and I don't want it to be you. It's not worth that. It's on a main road. I know the builder. It was next door to a house we built. They cookie cutted everything in that thing. The builder had no success. That was their one and done home." I was like, "It's not worth $2.7 million. Plain and simple." He goes, "Oh, all right. I trust you with that." I could have easily, like every other realtor, said, "Oh, that's a beautiful home. You got to go in there. Just look at the crown moldings and the furniture. Oh, it's so beautiful." But I said no. So it's just having that approach, gaining that trust with people is the biggest difference. Not a lot of agents are willing to do it because they want that quick sale, move on to the next. I just have a conscience. It's the way I was raised. I want something that's going to be the best for my client, to where they're not going to come back to me later on and be like, "He's the reason that I'm stuck in this situation."
I'm curious, do you know any other builders that are agents too?
I had one on my podcast. I don't know if he's doing much real estate. Not really. I mean, they go hand in hand. I know there's probably
I feel like you're the secret weapon, dude. Because you can seriously look at it and go, "No, that doesn't work. They built this shitty."
Yeah.
Like, "Oh yeah, we can fix this for you. It's going to cost you this much." Like, the answers are just right there.
And I get asked it all the time, and a lot of people. I've sold a lot of property, and I mean, I'm obviously always, my main focus will be the building end. I love construction. I love building homes, and I love that aspect of everything. And when I was a kid, I was always building stuff, but the real estate end, it kind of tied in hand in hand. I've always been good at sales. I sold cars at a young age. I had a lot of success. I was one of the top salesmen in that car dealership at like 20 years old, in a pool full of 40 and 50-year-old guys. But I just, real estate goes hand in hand. And then having, like I said, having a conscience to help people goes a long way too. But that trust factor of me selling myself on, I know what goes into an empty lot before a construction, or I know what it takes to build a good house, or looking at a house and what's got cheap cabinet. I walked through a house the other day for a guy. It was a remodel. The remodel was shit. You know, it was just the cabinets were Like they had this peel, you can peel it off. There's these flat panel modern cabinets. They were the cheapest thing I've ever seen. No dovetail on the drawers. The guy probably got them off IKEA. They looked like that, and I
And
told
what was the price point of this house?
they started at 2.6 million on this house, and the thing already got a bid up, which I knew it was going to get bid up because it had a view, but he renovated it. He did the cheapest porcelain tiles, bright white. And so I said, you're going to see every ounce of dirt on this tile that comes into that through that front door. It was just everything was done so cheap, and the baseboard, like they left the original doors. There were 6'8" doors. Usually we're doing 8-foot doors interiors now. Instead of changing those, they left the original 6'8" ones and just painted them blue. And it was just a cheap remodel. I'm like, oh man, I was like, I can't let you, it was another situation like that where I was just honest about it. So it was just being honest to people. I know a lot of agents struggle with it because they want that fat paycheck, but in the long run, I'm a big believer in the long run of things and playing the long term too, that it's going to come back to bite you too in a lot of ways if you're not upfront with people. And that's why a lot of people like to work with me, because I've always put them in a good situation or a good house that they're either going to profit off of or have a good experience in, where it's not going to fall apart on them. Same with lots too, good locations, easy buildable lots that they're not going to cost a fortune, because I've had agents sell people lots too that cost them 30-40 grand more after they bought it because of stuff they had to remove or more dirt or just all these little different things. And I preach about that on my social media all the time.
Yeah, and I think you have the same philosophy I do. Is like, I'd rather make money with them, over a 10-year period than a one transaction. And then obviously the reason you have the broker license and the reason you have the home business and the reason you're going to the estate businesses, I building all my companies this way. If I can keep you in my ecosystem and we can support you. So I have my mindset coaching consulting, but we also have a sales and marketing company because I realized all the guys I was coaching didn't have shit for sales. And I'm like, some of them did, but a lot. Okay, well, why would I just create that if I'm already a good salesman and I have the guys? And so we can build websites, logos, podcasts. We can do all that thing. So it's like, and we have a trainer. So it's like, we're calling us the Navy SEALs of coaching. Like, we don't want you to leave our ecosystem, and there's no egos involved. And we just want to do business the right way. And I think that a lot of people are getting away from that because quick paycheck.
Well, it's a quick pay. Like you just said, like, doing business the right way in the long term is going to benefit you highly. Right now, we're in a market that, a real estate agent can literally list a property and it sells overnight, and they don't have to do a thing. They don't have to like these realtors that are just getting real estate right now. I've been licensed for 11 years, so I went through slow times. I went through times where things were picking up and so on too. And now this time, I mean, you can literally list a house, go out, lay on the lounge chair, not do anything, and somebody's going to bring you an offer. So, and just they're, and a lot of the buyers too are just the buyer's agents are just responding right away and just saying how beautiful everything. Oh, it's great. Yeah, you need to buy you like it. Okay, let's put in an offer. They're without even looking at it or showing up or their FaceTime and so on. That is going to bite them, because when things slow down, which they will, and same with building too, guaranteed, because all these builders that are taking on 60, 70 projects right now, and they're way, way overloaded, which I'm seeing in this general town too, robbing Peter, paying Paul, robbing Peter, they're taking from the back draw to finish the front. It happens every time.
I'm really glad that you brought this up, because I'm hearing some nasty shit out of Oklahoma, because I have some friends up there that builders are just treating people like just horseshit. And in Austin.
But this all happened before, but people don't remember the past too. That's the thing. They become blind to it because the FOMO, I don't get it. And that's why I come in with what I'm trying to do. And I'm so passionate about this, is trying to teach people, take your time, because it's a huge, huge investment in the construction industry. Don't look at just the number. I've been undercut constantly by new builders that are in the market. There's no possible way they can build for the cost that they're offering. There's no way. And I tell these people that they don't have to believe me. I mean, we've just been in business, for family-owned business, for over 25 years. I mean, we're doing something right. But don't believe me, it's just, we see it. They come and go. And the last guy always gets burnt, and that's how it's always going to happen. And that's what's coming up here soon. I could kind of see it in the trends, is that if you don't have your bit, and a lot of these guys are fixed costs too, building, trying to get into building bigger homes and so on, they're all going to get burnt. These people are going to be left high and dry, and they're going to be calling us saying, hey, can you finish my home? And we don't touch other builders' stuff because we don't know what they did to start. And that's what, unfortunately, I have to tell them, that just the way we are, we build our own stuff for a reason. We're picky about it, but it's coming. And it's in my area, it's in every area, because every Joe with a pickup truck becomes a builder, or painter becomes a builder. Or, it's
what's the joke? What's the joke right now? I think I heard it the other day. When the chiropractor becomes a builder in your town,
or a realtor, it's the same thing, or a realtor, and they're all becoming real with every bartender. Nothing against bartenders. A lot of bartenders, I'd hire a lot of bartenders, to be honest, because they're great, personable people. But a lot of people out of becoming real estate agents, or builders that have no experience, or just go take the test and are book experience instead of on job experience, which is a whole different level. It's just, there's going to be a lot of people coming up here getting burnt. And I hate to say it, but we've seen this play out like this before. And because, like I said, there's builders in my area that have like 60 something builds going on right now, and there's no way to handle that amount of builds. It's just, I'm hiring now because we're busy and we're trying to keep up. And thank God I was picking and choosing. We're in a situation where we can kind of select our customers, and we got a lot of understanding people. But the way materials are going and how slow things are coming in now because of supply chain, it's just, there's going to be some bad stuff coming up as far as everything. So not to be doom and gloom. I think the markets will stay for a little, but who knows in the world we live today.
No, and you're seeing it in everything. Some guy posted a video the other day. The average unit that he used to furnish for Airbnb has gone up $3,000.
Yeah.
So, and it's taking an extra month because of supply chain issues. So it's only a matter of time. That's why we're focusing more on the luxury market, so we don't have that volatility. And we're being very, very particular about what we buy. And I coach a lot of young kids, and it's the hardest thing to get them to understand. Like, look, I just had one before this. So you're still making money. You have a great job. You're working on your health, and you're making money. You can be frustrated all you want, but buying a wrong deal, the way that you're paying for it, 20% down, you make one bad buy, you got to wait 2-3 years.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's okay to not buy. Like, you're still going to make money. You're still going to learn more. That's Patience. What they don't understand.
Patience.
Yeah, it's taken me a long time.
It's taken me too. I was the most impatient person as well, but it's just the way this market is and everything. You got to have patience too. And like I said, we got a lot of customers that understand what's going on, and they've been very patient. It's taking forever for us to get houses started, just because a lot of the pre stuff leading up to the actual build is just so backed up. But then once we get them started, we're having delays in concrete and so on too. And all these different little things we just found out we can't get blocks. Our guys got to go to Tampa to get blocked now. And it's just always one obstacle after the other in this business. I jokingly say, if I don't have a full gray head of hair by the end of this year, I'll be shocked, because I got to meditate more. But it's just put your foot on the gas, look forward, man, do what you got to do. I'm a big believer in that. I believe in God, and God has a plan for me, and just obviously, just keep trucking forward as much as we can. And that's what we're doing. And like I said, we got a lot of great customers that are understanding. Some of them I have to kind of tell, hey, supply chain is what it is. You guys turn on a TV, you can see it. With what's going on in the world now as we speak, I think it's going to get a little bit tighter. So it should be an interesting next couple of months coming up here of what's going to actually happen with trucker convoys and all this forming. So just we got to do what we got to do, kind of focus on what we got to do to get stuff done. That's it pretty much. So
yeah, I think the number one thing that I changed my life was realizing that because I was highly emotional most of my life. Something I worked really hard on the last 3 years is just taking a step back and saying, what can I control in this situation? That's all. I can't control who the president is. I can't control what the trucker convoys are coming. I can't control what Russia's doing, but I can focus on me and take care of my health and work and take care of the people in front of me. I think everybody's looking to take care of the person that they haven't met yet instead of the people that are right in front of you.
Yeah. And they're looking to change something they can't change. I mean, you can't change who the president is. You can't change. I mean, you can vote, but you can't change what Putin's going to do across the seas. You can't change, what's going to happen tomorrow. I mean, you can change yourself. That's what you can focus on. But other people, I mean, they're going to focus on themselves too. It's just like exactly what you said. And I'm trying to get better at that too. It's hard with all the surrounding noise we have. And what you said, I was actually thinking about that yesterday. I'm like, focus on you. Stop with all the noise. Maybe shut off some of that noise too, because I got to turn off the news.
You know what's interesting? There's some guys I watch that I respect, and I can see them going on tilt, and I'm like, I can see it on their social media, and I'm like, you're in danger zone right now.
Yeah.
Don't get wrapped up in this stuff. There's business to handle in front of you.
Yeah.
And it's like, I have to tell my guys too, I'm like, hey, you got a mission over here and you got employees. Fuck all that noise over here. Right here.
Yeah.
So
that's hard.
I do like words for the year, like themes, words. So I just carried the same one over for 2 years, and it was emotional stability.
Yeah.
And I started studying like stoicism and stuff. And I just wanted to make sure that if I was going to be the true CEO, then I needed to, and it's really hard, because part of what makes me great is I feel really deep, but and that makes me relatable and vulnerable and all that stuff. But ultimately, in the near future, I want to be a father, and nobody's going to test your patience like the kids. So I need to make sure that I got my shit together.
I'm the same way, man. We can control what we can control. That's why I think you and I relate quite a bit, because it's just I care. I always do care. My fiance always has to tell me, like, just relax. Like, there's nothing you can really do about this. Maybe turn it off. And I have to turn it off because I get so stressed out about it. She can tell too. She's like, were you watching this or listening to this podcast or whatever? She could tell. I'm just like, yeah, just that. She goes, there's nothing you can do, just stay in your lane. I mean, pretty much stay in your lane, be you, worry about you and what's going on, because that outside noise too is only going to make you more irritable towards what you have to deal with in your personal experience, in your personal life, which I've realized that too. So a lot of time I have to turn that noise off, because then it'll make my day better and smoother, because I deal with a lot during the day. I'm getting hit left and right, being in real estate, I had a deal fall apart yesterday, and we're dealing with a house that we're closing, that we're building right now, and the closing's tomorrow. So I'm dealing with that. And I had a deal that somebody else bought another condo and blah, but long story short, I had to deal with that at the same time. And then I deal with our warranty stuff, where people are calling me about warranty items. And then, and it's like it was one of those days yesterday where the phone did not stop. And I had to just step back. You can tell I was just wore out and exhausted. My eyes were just like drooping because I was getting hit in so many different directions. But I had to step back and realize, things can be a lot worse. I could not be getting these phone calls and be in the situation that I'm in. That's the thing. And I could not have the business we have and the people calling about the warranty stuff, and or if the deal falls through, maybe it's just not the right deal. I know the condo will sell. I had to tell the guy, hey man, this happens. These people backed out. They didn't want it. Maybe they're not the right fit, and they weren't the right ones to work with. So, stuff happens. The market's still strong. Let's just keep moving forward. I mean, it's just take a step back. Sometimes it's hard to do, but I'm realizing that more and more I need to, and just be like, you're in a good place. A lot of people don't have these struggles, and sometimes struggles aren't as bad as you think. So
thank you. I needed to hear that, because I've been under the weather for like many days, and it's affecting me. So I needed to hear that. So thank you.
Yeah. It's something I just thought about it, because I'm like, if you're getting hit in all these directions, I guess it's better than not. I could be sitting here with nothing going on, and then worrying about okay, where am I going to be financially, or where that's the way I think too. Like, I'm one of those guys too that's afraid of being broke. I relate with that. Ed Mylett talks about that quite a bit. Of he's afraid to be broke. Andy talks about it too, and I'm one of those guys. And sometimes I have to step back and realize, okay, what I do have and what I do have coming up. And then a lot of these situations that happen that you're stressed out and this is that, you got to kind of step back and be thankful that those situations are happening, because if they weren't, you'd probably be in a bad spot if people weren't calling you. Like, think about that. Like, nobody's calling you, you don't have any business. That's business. Business isn't easy. So if I didn't have all those people calling me, I'd be probably in a bad spot, and I'd probably be even more stressed, and I'd probably be broke. So I'd rather have those people calling me where I can help them and get that done. And I know I can get through it. And that's what kind of pushes me through it each day. Like a day like yesterday, I was fried, man. I'm doing 75 hard. That was one of those days too that I could have used a drink, something, but yes, I couldn't do it obviously because it's 75 hard, but it was one of those days, and I had to step back and realize and be thankful and grateful for what I do have and why those people call me.
Mm-hmm. I love it. When I'm ever in a spot like that, I go back and listen to my first podcast with my coach that I did on his.
Oh, nice.
And I'm like, who is that fucking guy? I'm like, good Lord. I'm like, you did a lot of drugs, bro. You got. I'm glad I haven't
listened to my first podcast in I don't know. I'm afraid to, man. I think it's probably so horrible.
So if people want to find out about your podcast, they want to listen to it, how would they do that?
Go on everywhere podcasts are located, iTunes, Spotify, all those places. It's the Real Build podcast. It's basically all about real estate and construction, showing you what to look for in both real estate and construction industries, whether you're buying, building, selling, renting, whatever. I got to get you on there too. Talk some of the stuff you're doing.
I'd be honored. Yeah.
Yeah.
We just started a short-term rental fund. And then we're buying in the Smokies, and then we're working on, I'm keeping this one close to the vest, but we're working on to buy rentals through the blockchain.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I've got a client who runs a whole NFT meta universe company.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I gotta get you on and talk about that for sure too, because that's all interesting. But yeah, I've had a lot of great guests on to every little niche you can imagine. I just had a handyman on. So if you're looking to hire a handyman, I got a show for you. So if you're looking to hire builders, realtors, I've had investors on, I've had home inspectors, designers. So it's helping the client. It's not all about teaching. I mean, I got builders that listen to it because they want to get little little bits and pieces about how to do construction and so on. But this is more client based. So love doing it. Go check it out.
No, I love it. Guys, if you got some value from this episode, send it to a friend, share it with somebody that gets some value, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you for listening to Construct Your Life with Austin Linney. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to rate, review, subscribe, and pay it forward by sharing with a friend. Most importantly, take this opportunity to start constructing your life by taking immediate action on what you learned. For show notes, resources, and more information on one-on-one coaching with Austin, visit constructyourlifepodcast.com.